Hi, it's Hans at ahappierman.com. Today's topic is talking versus writing. Well, I really don't think it's versus. It's not like a either or. It's you use both. You use talking as it's where it works, and you use writing for where it works. But I think I see the problem is some people exclusively want to talk, and some people exclusively want to write. And I think you'll find is you need to incorporate both things into your life if you want to expect to make the most progress in your life and keep things straight. Take a step back. Growing up, my family, both sides, everybody, they're all educated, all smart, but when they got together, they like to do a lot of talking and socializing and reminiscing and talking about things. And they all seemed to understand things best by talking, and they knew the family tree, knew the family history, know who was married to who was had cousins to who the kids are. They knew all this stuff. They knew the years. And I think they knew this from this continual talking over time. So I would listen to all of this, and I wouldn't really grasp every nuance of this. I wouldn't understand it all. I understood quite a bit of it, but I wasn't, there at the beginning, right? They're older than me, right? So I wasn't there at the beginning to understand how all this stuff, all these people fit together. So I just, kind of went on just in the listening, and, I wasn't even talking about it. I was just listening. So, at a minimum, they were doing the talking, learning the family history through the talking. But when I went ahead and wrote all this down for myself, all the people, all the history, kind of did my own family tree based on what I knew, and then I would get some input from relatives and fill in the blanks. Well, by then, of course, I've got it all makes perfect sense. I know it all now. I wrote it down. I used the writing to clarify it for myself. It was the talking and the writing. Here's another example for you. Back when I was learning how to drive a car, we had this old truck on the little farm where I grew up, and it had one of these. It was a shifting, but it wasn't a shifter on the floor. It was a shifter on the steering column up here by the steering wheel, and then instead of a automatic, it was a shifter. Well, my grandparents and my parents were trying to tell me about how to shift this blasted thing. You put the clutch in, and then if you want to make it go in the first gear, you go one way and up and down and all around, and second you push the clutch in and do this, and third, and the reverse is over here. Well, yeah, that explanation really did nothing for me. I never really understood it until somebody said, hey, if you just, it's the shape of an H. It's the shape of an H. And then once somebody said that, and then I drew out an H and drew out where the reverse, the 1 and 2 and the 3 are, well, then it's perfectly easy, perfectly fine, no big deal, right? The writing. You'll find that your life gets better the more you write, and it also gets better the more you talk. So you've heard me time and time again about the writing. Write out your life, focus on your life, concentrate, spend time in coffee shops writing out your goals, your plans, your dreams, what's wrong with your life, what's right with your life, what do you want to do now, what do you want to do next year. All of this is writing critical. So I've kind of got the writing down to myself, but I'm also working on the talking, right? I'm doing all these talks. I think I got another video on the public speaking, how to do that, and I do some public speeches for my work. I get up in front of 4 or 5 people, or get up in front of 20 people, get up in front of 50 to 100 people. Doesn't bother me. 15 years ago, I would have been terrified to do this. Now it doesn't bother me. I could easily get up in front of however many. It wouldn't bother me. I've practiced enough. I've talked enough. I know how to get ready for a talk. And like I said in the other one, it's the practice and knowing your material and having good information to share and practicing it in a way that makes sense for your audience. And this kind of constant YouTubing, talking, and I spend time talking to people. I'm a lot more social than I used to be, and talking is important. It's a way for us to communicate. So if you have any problem with speaking, you might want to start with your phone and get used to speaking. It will really help you. In addition to that, if you've got any problem memorizing things and learning things, I'm sure that your biggest problem with it is you're not writing it down. The only way to really learn something very well is by writing it down. That's why when you're in math class in grade school and high school, they're having you write, because it's the writing that gives you the motor skills, the skill between the paper, the pencil, your hand, your arm, your brain, and the back and forth gives you the knowledge of mathematics. And it's the laziness of not wanting to write as much as your teacher would tell you to write that makes you struggle with it. The same with anything in the schooling. It's the writing, it's the taking notes, it's the writing out the equations. That's how you learn the best. So give that idea some thought. Getting back to your life with the writing, if you want to study your life and know what your preferences are, what you most like, what you most dislike, how you want your life to be, you need to spend more time writing with a paper and pen, quietly by yourself, as much time as it takes. I'm encouraging you to do that, and I'm also encouraging you to speak. So it isn't talking versus writing, it's talking and writing, and your life will go up, up, up. All for now.